Hi friends. A couple of weeks ago during worship, we thought about the connection between generosity and forgiveness. In the passage that we read from Luke 17, the word for forgiveness means to release someone from a financial debt. Yesterday during worship, we read Jesus' parable about the dishonest manager, in which the manager forgives large amounts of debts that people owed to his master. And then last week during the daily messages, we read the passage where Jesus stands in the synagogue and reads from the Isaiah scroll. "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." All of that together made me think of, are you ready for this? Deuteronomy. I know, who thinks of Deuteronomy? Deuteronomy derives its name from the Greek that means second law. The book is set in the plains of Moab, just before the Hebrew people crossed the Jordan River and into the Promised Land. Moses, who will die before entering the Promised Land, gives the people the second law, or a second giving of the law, which he had first given at Mount Sinai. In other words, Deuteronomy is a reiteration or an expansion of the commandments that God gave to Moses right after he had delivered them out of their slavery in Egypt. So Deuteronomy prescribes how to live in community in a way that pleases God, honors people, and witnesses to the world. The specific part of Deuteronomy that forgiveness and debt and the year of the Lord's favor brought to my mind is in chapter 15. Verse 1 reads, "Every 7th year you shall grant a remission of debts." Now, when this legislation was formulated, Israel had moved deeply into an economy of land ownership and capital gain. In that economy, there was wealth and there was poverty. And we can easily assume that in order to start a business or to buy land, that people took out loans. And if they were successful in their business or in their farming, then that could lead to considerable wealth and influence and power. But if they were not successful, it could lead to ruin and destitution. So some people were doing considerably more and less well than others. And this legislation was evidently designed to alleviate the consequences and the effects of this unequal distribution of wealth, and to make possible a recurring pattern of renewals and restarts. If a person was unable to pay his or her, but at that time it was always his, debt, he was not saddled with the burden of it beyond a period of 6 years. Because in the 7th year, he was forgiven of his debt and had the opportunity to make a new start, another chance. Now, it's not surprising from a human standpoint that this year of release was never fully implemented. It's not practical. It's idealistic. And maybe that's exactly the point. This legislation points to the ideal economy of God, in which all people are valued and cared for and can earn a livable wage. In the ideal economy of God, you're not stuck where you are. You're not determined by your situation. You're not doomed by your mistakes. There are second chances. And that's true not only in terms of financial debts, but also in terms of emotional debts. Like grudges and anger and bitterness over past offenses. Forgiveness reminds us that in God's economy, there is always opportunity for a new start. For us and for people who have hurt us. We are not stuck in our past hurts. We are not determined by our situations or defined by our mistakes. There is forgiveness for us. And because of that, we can forgive others. It's not easy, and it often takes a really long time. But forgiveness, given and received, is essential for the health of our soul, our family, our church, and our community. 2021 is a 7th year. Maybe we can make this year a year of release from emotional debts that we have carried on our books for way too long. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again tomorrow.